Welcome back. I'm Uday Pratap Singh. You're joining us on NewsX. Our big focus this hour, the Delhi blast investigation has reached a critical point, with investigators uncovering crucial details about terrorist Umar's activities. From his hiding spot in New to his interactions with students and the whereabouts of his missing phone, investigators are piecing together the events surrounding the attack. In the next 30 minutes, we will be delving into some of the key findings in the past 24 hours. A major breakthrough has been achieved in the Red Fort car blast case, with intelligence agencies uncovering 20 lakh rupees fund trail linked to 3 doctors, Umar, Muzammil and Shaheen. Intelligence sources say that the amount is suspected to have been routed by a Jaish-e-Mohammed handler through a Hawala network. Of this, around 3 lakh rupees is believed to have been spent on purchasing 26 quintals of NPK fertilizers, a nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium-based chemical compound used in agriculture, which is also capable of producing explosives used in the blast. Major General Gigi Dwivedi, Strategic Affairs expert, is joining us live. Major General Dwivedi, what do you make of this money trail being uncovered by the investigation agencies into these 3 key arrested individuals who had a role to play in this module that was trying to perpetrate blasts and also was behind the Red Fort blast?
Well, Uday, as the information is being pieced together, I think the money trail is one of the very important lead, because it has been reported that in Nu there are Hawala racketeers who are dealing with this kind of money laundering, and this money has been laundered to these doctors module, and it's a fair amount of sum that have been, into the kitty, and that's why they have been able to buy out all the fertilizers and other, like also this guy who was Umar, he rented out the accommodation in Nu. He stayed there for 10 days. So that money laundering is a very important angle, because that gives further leads as to where the handlers are. And as we have already got the reports, the handlers are in Turkey, in Pakistan, as also in Afghanistan. Along with that, the 2, 3 things are also very critical as to how they are communicating, their means of communication, and they are using the Telegram mode. That is the platform they have used, which is very secretive, where they can handle very large amount of data, and that's why they have not been earlier spotted, because they have been at this game for quite some time. And along with that, the other leads as to how they were able to buy so much of explosive, that is ammonium nitrite, and other tools to give kind of this incidents a final shape. And my last point is that I think intelligence agencies are going quite deep into the whole issue, and they are getting at the source of the modules, and also piecing up the complete network, because that's very vital, that we need to actually get the complete networks. Some of them have been uncovered and some are still work in progress. Uday.
All right. In fact, let me also rope in SP Vaid in at this point, former DGP Jammu and Kashmir Police, who's also joining us now live. SP Vaid, how important is uncovering this money trail, particularly where the funds originated from, which is linked, of course, to these 3 arrested, to these 2 individuals arrested, and one who is now deceased, believed to be in that vehicle which exploded outside the Red Fort?
Good evening, Uday. As General Dwivedi was saying, money trail is most important aspect of the terror module, and it actually traces back the origin from where all this money is coming and direction is coming to do whatever job they have been tasked with. So money trail is very, very crucial. How the money has come, who delivered it, which Hawala channel. I think all that will lead us to ultimately, I'm sure, across the country, whichever country it is, whether it is Pakistan or Turkey or Afghanistan. But connections in all these 3 countries have been already, I think they have figured it during the investigation. It is not only interstate module of doctors terror module, but even international ramifications. And I think It's a huge, huge conspiracy against this country, and I think it's a challenge for all the intelligence and this, investigating agencies that we must uncover every aspect of this conspiracy, which was planned, hugely planned to go for a big action, probably on the 6th of December, the anniversary of the demolition of Babri Masjid. So I think Pakistan handlers, they have, with the renewed backing of uh, General Munir by President of America, USA, Donald Trump. I think he got the feeling that now he can finger India because already China is backing him, the US is backing him. So this is the time that he can do some mischief with India, not learning lesson during the Operation Sindoor. I think that is what they were trying to desperately do because they did not uh, want their connections to be tracked down. That's why they have used local boys. Most of them are doctors from within, as compared to earlier way. They used to send in some Pakistani trained terrorists from across the border in Kashmir, then send them to Delhi or Mumbai or other cities of India and do an action with weapons coming from Pakistan here. Look at the material, the resources, the boys have been all resourced from India.
Yes.
And as General Saab was saying, use of the Telegram channel is actually with a very thought out conspiracy
Right.
that they will not be tracked down.
Right.
Yes.
We're getting more details now emerging as well. Further investigations into the Delhi blast case are uncovering new details about the suspect, Dr. Umar, revealing that he stayed in Haryana's Nu until the day before the blast and used multiple phones. CCTV footage from the days leading up to the incident show him at a pollution center with the I-20 car and getting a mobile phone repaired. Umar was spotted at a mobile phone shop in Faridabad carrying at least 2 phones around 11 days before the blast. According to CCTV footage, Umar primary phone remains missing and forensic teams have found no trace of his device at the blast site. The probe indicates that he was actively radicalizing young adults in Haryana and across the country using social media. The question remains, though, where is the missing phone? Now, this is the big question. The phones have been spotted, General Dwivedi, in CCTV cameras, but where is the device? Because it hasn't been found at the blast site.
That's true, because there are two possible theories that are working. One is that he was only that time, at the time of the blast, was carrying only one phone, and that would have been actually destroyed or damaged during the blast. And second is that the other phone could be either from where he was charging the phone. There's a video clip, where he is seen charging the phone at one of the shops. That I think could also give a lead, because the phone is also very vital, because once you track the calls, then you exactly know that how this module is working and what are the final preparations that were made. That is very, very important, because when the dates are close to the incidents, that's the time that number of people would have been involved in the last minute, putting the whole plan together. So I think the phone, the recovery is very important, especially second phone, because the one phone may have been destroyed or damaged in the whole thing. And second point, which I want to again highlight, which DGP Vaid Saab also was trying to get at, is that today Pakistan is very emboldened. Emboldened because it has backing from all the superpowers, and then Asim Munir have been elevated as the strongest person in the uniform. He is putting on so many hats, and I think we need to be fully prepared, because every angle need to be explored, because Munir is not going to rest his rose, and with his new authority, new title, and the recognition he is getting globally, I think he is going to up the ante as the time goes by, Uday.
Okay, SP Ved, how crucial could recovery of these devices be? What normally do investigating agencies, piece through these phones and devices which are connected to terrorists for?
Uday, is very important as far as recovery of these devices is concerned. But I think the most important aspect is the last 3 hours before he actually blew himself and killed others also. He had parked his vehicle in the parking lot. I think that is the crucial time when he was contacting, most probably the handler in Pakistan, maybe some other contacts, maybe his family members. All those calls are very crucial. I think even if this device, it's good if device is actually recovered, but as General Saab said, possibilities one device must have been damaged or completely uh, completely lost in that blast, huge blast. Maybe the other one, if we are able to lay hand on, or if I think there is a way, if we have the number, his mobile number, which I'm sure the investigators must have found, you can still track down the call records with those which were the last from the tower he was talking to. I think with the help of organization like NTRO and other technical organizations, I am sure we can track down last minute calls which he made, and we should be able to know who all people he was in contact with.
Yes. Now, also, in fact, in further details emerging, a heavy police presence has been seen outside a house in Noor's Hidayat colony, now sealed, where Dr. Umar allegedly died for about 10 days before the Delhi blast. The property belongs to a woman named Afsana. What has startled investigators is that Shoaib, now in custody, is Afsana's brother-in-law and is believed to have arranged the rented room for Umar. Rizwan, the second detainee, is said to be Afsana's brother. Officers at the spot confirmed that the building is being searched thoroughly, with digital devices and other material seized for forensic analysis. Major General Gigi Dwivedi is now joining us on the broadcast. Major General Dwivedi, raids and searches, of course, are still on at these key properties. And obviously, the next 48 hours is very, very crucial for investigating agencies, isn't it? What do you make, of course, of what could have possibly been hidden in these properties? And also, what do you hope will be the priority of investigators in these next 48 hours?
Well, Uday, because the last 10 days before he actually carried out this dastardly act, he was in Nu. And as it is well known that he spent about 10 days there, and who are the people who helped him to get the accommodation? He paid a rent of 2,000 and also some security. And what all he did in 10 days also will be very revealing, because that's the time when he fled after Muzammil was arrested, and that means that he would be under a lot of pressure, under a lot of tension, and in that way he would have left a fair moderate trail in these last about 10 days. And the second point is what the agencies will be looking at first and foremost. How was he, in what all he was in touch with, who are the handlers, that would be very important, and who are the accomplices, because after all, he was getting the support from the overground workers who would be in this area, and as it is, Nu has a certain amount of, previous record also, that there have been certain activities of anti-national nature. So I think if I can just summarize that three, four things agencies will be looking at as to what was his activity during those 10 days, who was he contact with, what are the other possibly explosives and material that he would have hidden, and finally, who are the accomplices who were supporting him at this crucial time. Uday.
All right. SP Ved, let me also quickly rope you in here to talk about, the other connects also in this case, because the room, the home where he was staying in Nu, which is now, of course, being investigated and searched thoroughly, was actually given to him by a woman called Afsana. Now, Afsana's brother-in-law is Shoaib. He's in custody, and Rizwan is said to be Afsana's brother. He's also in custody. So this was an entire nexus. Thankfully now, these people are one by one being arrested by the police, who are slowly joining the dots, which is very important at this juncture to do, SP Ved.
Absolutely. They see the two brothers of Rukhsana, if they are arrested, and Rukhsana is also, I personally feel she is also a suspect, and these brothers have some role in this whole nexus. I think that is what investigators must be looking into, and digital evidence recovered from them, including Rukhsana and that residence where he was staying. I think it will lead us to the investigators to some clues. During investigation, you look for anything which can give us leads. So I'm sure they must be looking for all such evidences where you can get any lead about the involvement of other people. As General Saab was saying, who is in fact notorious place for all illegal activities, and the place he had hired for last 10 days of his life. I think I'm sure investigators would be getting some vital clues from there to pursue the investigation further.
All right. Meanwhile, also in fresh information available with us, the students have alleged that Dr. Umar Nabi, who is believed to have been the suicide bomber in the Red Fort blast, tried to implement the Taliban model at Al Falah University in Faridabad. He taught and reportedly, of course, the students and staff of the college have shared many such experiences at this university where he taught. Dr. Umar Nabi was an assistant professor of the college. Some students said Dr. Umar did not allow boys and girls to sit together in the class. An MBBS student stated even in his lectures in class and other places, he praised the Taliban model. He also tried to implement that model in the college. Boys and girls used to sit together in classes. However, Dr. Umar Nabi did not allow that. The MBBS student stated when he would come to class, he would make the girls and boys sit separately deliberately. Students say Umar lived in the college hostel and was an introvert. They say they came to the college with high hopes, but the classes were not up to the mark and even the practical was not conducted on time. The employees of the hospital said the number of patients coming to the hospital has decreased significantly after the blast. Students are of the opinion that Dr. Shaheen Said was a great teacher, although Umar was not very good at teaching. So Taliban model was something he was praising in his classrooms, putting in place bizarre practices, not teaching very well, but trying to radicalize students. Major General Dwivedi, what do you make of what the students there are saying of Dr. Umar?
Well, Uday, these are important inputs. They further vindicate that Dr. Umar was highly radicalized, and there are reports that during his internship, he was in touch with certain elements who actually have radicalized him. And like I'm in academia teaching in top of the line institutions, we don't ever even think of such actions because they are education institutions. You don't actually go and impose such restrictions. They are absolutely the Taliban oriented model. And secondly, he was an introvert. It has also been, I was seeing one of the interviews of one of his relatives who said that he was a very shy person, very introvert. And third point is that, if he was radicalizing the other young student also, because please remember, the students are very impressionable. And that means he had a role to play to radicalize the student body further. And the last point is that his performance as far as teacher, because he was assistant professor, that was not up to the mark, obviously, because he was engaged in activities which are far beyond, detached from the academic work. So I think these inputs are also very important to piece up the overall information that he was a radicalized person trying to impose the Taliban ways and laws in the classrooms. Uday.
Absolutely. In fact, let me also quickly rope in SP Vaid in at this point as well. SP Vaid, explosive revelations coming in from the university and students and others connected with that institution, talking about the ideology of Dr. Umar. He praised the Taliban model, was trying to separate boys and girls in the hostel, was an introvert, stayed amongst him by himself, also was not a very good teacher as well.
Udayji, absolutely. See, this is what indicates his behavior, and this is what actually investigators will, while building the case, though he's not now in this world, but then case will have to be finally concluded. So this is his. This actually will support the theory that he had Talibanized mind. He was of the mind of what Afghanistan is witnessing, the Taliban regime. I think that is so that shows how radicalized he was. And most of the time I have seen the suicide bombers or even hardcore terrorists. They are basically indicative of this kind of behavior, not allowing the ladies to sit. Now imagine in a medical course, you do not allow the ladies and the gents together. What bizarre. You are not in a fifth class student. You are talking to doctors who have to deal with both the sexes. So this is Talibanized mind, and his appreciation of Taliban regime. All this indicates the circumstantial evidence about his mind, his behavior, his leanings towards the radical mindset. So that shows that Pakistan handlers had actually radicalized him long back. And this behavior of his in the classroom, segregating boys and the girls, actually indicates this. And I think this builds up the case again in this particular investigation very well. The statements.
What do you believe the priorities should be over the
clear.
next 48 hours now of investigators?
Priorities for the next 48 hours?
Yes. What should those be for the investigators as they begin to join the dots?
I think the most important is wherever you can collect digital evidence, the communication, the linkage to Pakistan, Turkey, and Afghanistan. These are of vital importance for the country because, in this particular conspiracy, I see Pakistan has made a special effort so that the linkage is not established to Pakistan, because they knew that India has declared very clearly that any act of terror would be seen as act of war. So I think special effort has been made that it cannot be traced down to Pakistan, and that is what our focus should be.
All right. Last word to you, General Dwivedi, on the road ahead.
Well, I think I go along with SP Saab, DGP Saab, that currently I think our effort would be threefold. Firstly is to try and break all the networks, because in case the networks still lay hidden, that means that they'll sprout up again. The second point is to get the complete trail from where the handlers have been operating, what are the intermediaries, and how these ultimately end the game by the modules. And the last point I think is that we need to ensure that such things are handled right in the nascent stage and not allowed to actually come to this kind of a environment or this kind of phase where the modules are actually able to cause damage. In fact, this effort should be to nip them in the bud, and that will actually be possible once we are able to completely map out the whole operation and who are the handlers, who are the operators, who are the intermediaries, and from where the funding is coming. All these have to be put together so that we are able to ensure that in the future such like modules are nipped in the bud itself. Uday.
All right, my thanks to our guests for joining us on the broadcast. It's time for a very short break. Much more coming up on the other side. Don't go anywhere.